What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the Structure After Party, the Structure Live. We're gonna be talking about House of the Dragon. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for checking us out today. And let's welcome back. By the way, I'm Lion. If you never see us, I'll go by Lion. And I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. E. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, good sir. How about you, Lion? How's everything going with you, man?
I'm not complaining. I survived last week, you know.
you held it down, and it's good to be back. Yo, what a time to come back. Am I wrong?
It's been a great week. You know, it's a busy week. Yeah. Last week's episode was a lot of fun. Everybody in the chat was definitely participating. I want to go ahead and shout out Movie Files, the YouTube channel Movie Files. Do great content. They hosted me last Sunday after my stream. They allowed me to be part of their panel, talk about House of the Dragon. Great guy, great content. Movie Files does their thing over there. Big inspiration, so let's check him out as well. So yeah, dude, what a great episode this week. We had 2 episodes left. We just did tonight's, and next Sunday we had the finale, which is sad and exciting at the same time. How are you feeling about this?
Super excited. I like you said, it's sad that it's the last one, but man, it seems like they're going to go out with a bang.
Yes, indeed, a bang indeed, man. Like that last scene. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna break this down little by little. This is what we do here. This Structure After Party. I make some notes. We go over scene by scene.
We unstructure everything.
We gotta unstructure everything. Yeah, I like how you said that. So we're going to be breaking everything down. So we're going to have some fun tonight. I want to make sure you guys have a question, put it in the chat. We're going to highlight it. We're going to have a conversation. By the way, we have a poll going to see whose side are you on. We have 2 teams. Team Green for the High Towers, Aegon, Otto Hightower. And then we have Team Black for Rhaenyra, Daemon Targaryen.
There's only one team to choose, people. There's only one team to choose. Can I say which team, Lion?
Don't reveal it yet. Don't reveal which side you're on.
Okay.
Until the end. We're gonna do we're gonna score the episode, and then we're gonna give out what side are we on. Although if you guys saw Movie Files last week, you know what side I'm on. But it is I got something for that. It is what it is. So we're gonna get started here in just a second. Let me put up the welcome banner. I forgot to put that up.
Let's go.
House of the Dragon, episode 9. Welcome to the show, everybody, for sure. So this episode is called episode 9, The Green Council. And now we see why. So just to recap, last episode, King Viserys the Peaceful, as he was called throughout this whole episode, because he kept the longest period of peace for the Targaryen dynasty, right? Or Targaryen rulers.
The exact thing they're not going to get.
And what an episode. Paddy Considine killed it in the performance last week, but this week he is gone, and with his last breath, Alicent understood that he wanted Aegon, his son, to rule, but he was just reciting the prophecy, and now she's taking this as marching orders.
Yes.
And the show opens up today with a feeling of lost emptiness throughout the halls. Everything is quiet, everything is dark. Alicent wakes up, gets the news that Viserys is dead. To her surprise, the spies are talking. We see like the little spies from the White Worm talking here and there, and that played a big part. Last week we saw that they were kind of planning. This week we saw them passing messages. Even so, there was a scene where one of the handmaidens, which was a spy, she's lighting a candle, and you can see from the outside as she was sending a message. The king is dead. Like the White Worm was waiting for that. What do you think of that part? That particular scene of seeing the spy light that candle to notify the White Worm?
Dude, that actually got by me the first time. I had to go back through it again. I was like, oh, okay. That was really smooth, and it just goes to show some people are on top of their game. You know, so information is power, as we later see in another instance. But shoot, right timing, information and timing is everything.
So Otto meets with Alicent as who knows that this happened. Only some of the servants know. So Otto's already conniving. Otto's been preparing. It's like he's been preparing his whole life to do this. This man was ready to go from the get-go. Yep. So, I think it was our second episode, our first episode, we had this debate. I think Sharper Color Blog was saying that Otto Only Ones was best for the realm. I was leading to believing, but in this episode, we saw a villain, a true villain. This guy was ready. He was proud of the whole episode.
Is that all we saw, Lion?
He's a whole lot of things. I know what you're referring to, but I think I have an idea. So in the council, when the council meets, they call Viserys the peaceful. Otto tells the council that Aegon should be succeeding Viserys because that was his last wish before he died. Mm-hmm. Which we as the viewers know that's not the case. But Alicent believes that, and the council is going to believe that. And to Alicent's surprise, the council already had a process ready to go. They already knew what were the steps to take, and they were ready to go. What do you think about scene mystery when you saw that Alicent was like, "What? Come again?"
It was so crazy because they're like, "Oh, we don't have to pretend no more. Oh, we can do Plan A, what we originally planned on doing, and not have to do it in secret." Okay, cool. Well, you know your role. I know my role. You know your role. All right, let's do it. Like they weren't listening to the king from the jump. It's clear.
And looks like most of the people in that council, we saw that Jason Lannister being part of the council, the head of the Maesters. I don't recall his name at the moment. And then we have one council member that was not going with it. His word is his bond. His name goes by Lyman Beesbury. He stands up. He complains about this. He's like, "Listen,
man walking. Go ahead.
It's blasphemy." And this was very anticlimactic how he went. Kristen Cole's telling, "Listen, man, you need to sit down. You need to sit down." Well, bam! that came out of nowhere. Were you expecting that to happen in that manner?
No, I wasn't. And when he didn't move, I was like, "Oh man, I think he's gone." What's up, Sharper Coder Blog? What's up, man? It's always good to see you. I was like, "Oh man."
You, Sharper.
Yeah, he really threw his head down. Like, they're serious. And then that started a whole situation with the King's Guard.
Yeah.
Sir Christian, the Queen's pet. And,
he's not the Queen's pet. This is his official title for this night. He's now the Lord pet. Commander. He's the Lord Commander of the Knights of the King's Guard, right? His true name is the saltiest knight in the kingdom. This guy is so salty since episode like 2 or 3.
Most emotional, either or.
My God.
Yeah.
He's still
I'm with you on that one line. Yeah. Yo. Hey, I don't know what's up with that guy. And you know what? I think he got, spoiler alert, I think he got elevated. We'll talk about that later. So it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, he's becoming more of a brat. And he got spoiled once. Okay, you got somebody who's second you. Don't encourage him.
Thank you. Points.
Shout out to you, Cindy Windu, for sure. So, what did he hit his head on? Was that like a rock? Did this guy purposely had a rock on
some type of stone, like smooth stone or something. I was looking at it when they first sat down. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. Never seen that before." And then, yeah, exactly.
It's like,
wrong day for him. Any other day,
table for no reason. It's just good decoration. You need to eliminate somebody, just smack the head. This guy got a soft head because I wasn't even like a big slam. It was like just lay down.
Sit down.
His head go down. He never got up.
Oh man,
what's going on,
picking
bro?
on the elderly. What's going on? Yeah, that's the way things go down in the kingdom, I guess.
You know what's interesting? I was having this conversation last week. That Alicent, the next thing, Alicent's trying to plead for Rhaenyra and Rhaenyra's family's life, because Otto was ready to have them axed. He was ready to have them axed, and Alicent, which I said this before in our channel, said on Movie Files, Alicent is caught in a very bad position because she's trying to obey or make her father proud. She doesn't necessarily want to be doing things she's doing, and she still has love for Rhaenyra. She's in her heart of hearts. She wants to do the right thing. If she hadn't heard Viserys said the thing he said on his deathbed, I think she would be okay with Rhaenyra becoming queen.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, no, the whole thing with her, she's in a either or situation, not an and situation. So either her kids live or they don't. There is no end. There is no end. Rhaenyra live in harmony as they take the kingdoms. So it's not going down like that, especially since they're trying to eliminate what's his name, Daemon, and they're trying to eliminate Rhaenyra's granddaughters or whatever. So that's not going down. It's not. They're not going to go gently. We'll get into it, but yeah, it's getting back to the queen. She's in the either or, and she just doesn't realize it. She won't accept it. You either go with it, or Rhaenyra is going to be queen, and maybe you'll probably be eliminated.
No, and you know what's interesting? I'm gonna say she's a real one. She's a loyal woman, because she says, Viserys wouldn't want his daughter to be harmed, and she's trying to obey the wishes of Viserys, the good and bad. He wants Aegon to be king, to her understanding, and he wants to keep his daughter alive through the whole process.
You bring up a really good point, because when she said that did resonate with me. However, I don't know how Rhaenyra reconciles that, right? Like, I get it. Don't go after her, but she's coming after you.
I don't see Rhaenyra being that. Rhaenyra was a hothead, like at least when she was younger. She's not gonna be the one reconciling there.
Yeah.
Now, in that scene, we also have the commander of the King's Watch. Oh my God, I can't. The King's Guard, City Watch, King's Guard. These names, they just mix all these titles.
So many shows, so many names.
So the Lord Commander of the King's Guard.
Like, I was just saying earlier to myself, Lion, is like, if we played like bingo or something like that of all the characters, half the board would be gone by now.
No, for real. Like, it's confusing for sure. That's why I made that short. If you guys check out our channel, by the way, I made it short, detailing some of the names of these characters.
Really good job.
So you guys check it out. I posted one today as well. If you want to know the names of the dragons and who rides each dragon, I also posted that. There's supposed to be 17 dragons in this show. So far, we've seen 7. I went ahead and detail which ones those are. And there's 2 more left for us to see, probably in the next episode.
If you're watching this, hit a like button if you want me to do a short.
Sure. About what? Yes, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's do that.
There you go.
Thank you so much for checking us out as well. Mm-hmm. Now, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, Sir Harold Westerling, right? He's not with it. He's like,
no.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? This is disrespectful.
Yeah.
And he even raises his sword, and him and Kristen Cole, they clash swords in a way. Like they kind of going to a standstill. Like, hey, what are you gonna do? Don't put your sword down. Things calm down, and he decides to step away. You know what? I'm not gonna be for or against it. Once you have a king, give me a call. I'll be here. Do you think that was the right position for you to take?
It's a noble position for him to take. However, and shout out to Plant Based Ministries, it's a noble position for him to take. However, in history, you go with the flow when these type of things happen. So you yes them to death, and long live the king and all that other stuff. And until you get out the kingdom, as we saw later, there is no going against whatever is going on, because hey, noted he's not with it, and maybe we don't need him later. I think because of that, Christian got promoted right later on. I think he
becomes
he definitely proved to be more trustworthy. Yeah. Plant-Based Ministry said, in the words of Marlo from The Wire, she wants to be one way, but it's the other way. That's basically what Otto was trying to tell her. Yeah, absolutely, no question. She can't have it both ways. You can't.
This is not Burger King. You cannot have it your way. I think that's the slogan. I think that's the slogan. I'm not sure.
This is war. This is kingdoms. Real things happen. So it's all good. Good point.
Good point. Plant-Based Ministry. So the next thing that happens is that we realize that where is Aegon? Aegon's gone. Everybody's looking for Aegon.
Go ahead.
This guy is a total loser. He's just out drunk somewhere, and everybody's going to be scrambling to get him. and we can see that he definitely doesn't want any part of being a ruler or being a king.
He's the only guy in the kingdom that doesn't want to be king. The only guy. Like he's even a dead king won't be king because he still be alive. The only guy in the kingdom that doesn't want to be king, and he's the only one that can be king. It's sort of aggravating to me as well as his brother, because his brother obviously is more suited, and this guy has taken advantage and been entitled. It sort of kind of reminds you of, like, you know, I'm gonna say, like, pick any entitled celebrity or entitled rich kid that you've seen or whatever that just takes everything for granted that they had in life. This is the story of the king to be. He has random sons all over the place, goes to children's fights, which I didn't even know that was.
That's just thing. Weird. That came out of left field. It's like they have a ring, a underground fight club for children, and that's just brutal. Like, what is going on? Like,
kitty fight club.
That's terrible. That's just terrible.
It really is bad. Like, and shout out to, what was it, the White Worm? That's her main ask. Yeah, that was her big ask, was like to stop the kids fighting. Like, no, I didn't think in this realm that would be an issue. Shout out for her for making that an issue. But that just goes to show what the realm is like, and that's crazy, dude. Like, kids, they said that they grow out their teeth and they sharpen their teeth and grow out their nails.
Yeah, you started scratching each other's face.
Yeah,
like, what's going on?
Yeah, and that was the crazy part. It was slapping, right? They were straight. I was like, I thought they were beating up each other, but they're slapping each other. Wow.
No, certainly. And from there,
he definitely did.
From there, Otto's mobilizing everybody in the next scene. He's getting all the servants into one place. He's getting all of the lords into one place. Oh, we got a comment here. Let's see.
Yep.
Oh, hello to you, just Herberg. I think Aemon is contemplating killing his brother. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's
absolutely. And don't think for a second that he's not thinking of a way to get him off the throne. I agree with you, Amy. Maybe not now, but maybe later. And I think something is going to happen to him, to be honest with you. And then you're going to see this is a whole, what is it, Rhaenyra and not Rhaenyra, Daenerys and Daemon situation all over again. But I think that we're going to see his brother gain power somehow, because this guy is just too cunning. Where Daemon, he did it for fun, he did it for the bravado. This guy is kind of maniacal. He's like a quiet type, but he's not. He doesn't let things go, as you can see. You know, give up an eye for a dragon. He's cool with it. Yeah, and I definitely agree with you.
No, he's become the true villain of the show, in my opinion. Like,
yeah,
at least the guy that you can see. This guy is gonna be someone not to mess with. He's gonna be a tough guy in the show. Let's put a quick picture of him.
You know what I found to be interesting? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What I found to be interesting was that when they went to the brothel, the woman knew him. Like the woman, she knew him, and she was like, "My, how you've grown," or something like that, right? So that goes to show that he hasn't gone back there, and I think that's because he's become like more focused on being a king or something to that effect. Like something greater has taken his interest, and it's definitely not his wife. It's definitely not his kids. What could that be? And I think it's the whole possibility.
Duty is what was thinking of him.
Yeah.
There's some kind of jealousy, and you know, even from the last episode.
Yeah, plant-based ministries. Agreed. Same. Yeah, pure disgust. Like that's like I was saying, and like Herberg was saying, everybody wants to be king in the realm, but he's the only one that doesn't want it, and his brother wants it the most. His brother's the one that actually trained for it. You know, if it had to be a choice, it definitely would be given to his brother, because you would feel that his brother could protect the realm, and that he was more worthy. So absolutely, I would be disgusted too.
No, and he knows his brother's a loser, and he's the one that's putting the work from the beginning to to be the one that's good with the sword, the one that's smart, the one that everybody essentially can count on, rely on. And he's become that guy. He's like, you know what? If we don't find my brother, I should be the one that's king. But before we hit that part, so Otto has mobilized everybody, all the servants and the lords, into the main hallway, and he's locked Rhaenys in her room. And this is when she realizes something is going down. And at the moment watching the show, we didn't know it. We didn't realize it, that Rhaenys was going to play such a big part, because she was kind of being pulled different ways. And we saw what happened towards the end of the episode. At the same time, we have Aemon and Kristen Cole looking for Aegon. At the same time that you have the Kingsguard looking for
the two brothers. Yeah, looking for him. And why were those two separate parties looking for him?
So Otto wants to make sure that when Aegon is found, he goes straight to him and he's gonna set him straight. He's gonna tell him, listen, this is what you need to do to rule, and I want you to make sure that Rhaenyra is eliminated from here. I want to make sure she's taken care of, take care of Daemon, of the family. You gotta make those laws, those rules. You gotta make sure you rule with an iron fist. While Alicent wants to make sure she finds her son, because she wants to get in his ear and propose to forgive Rhaenyra, or to provide some kind of terms for her surrender, or for her not to try to recover. That's what we see here.
Yeah, and that basically shows that the the daughter and the father are kind of at odds, which may be an issue going down the line with the son and how he rules. I think that's going to be a bigger issue going down the line. And I think there was another point which we'll get into in a second with Alicent and what is it, Rhaenys? Rhaenys, thank you.
Rhaenys, Rhaena.
I know.
That's how to keep them straight.
Yeah.
So Otto has put all the lords of the realm in one room, and he's asking for them to bend the knee. We see the ones that
this is so classic. So classic. Go ahead.
We see the ones that are like, you know what, my word is my bond. I'm not gonna bend the knee. And guess what happens? They get taken away. Then there's one trying to be smart. I'm just gonna stay quiet. You'll long live the king. I'm cool. But we see
he was almost there.
No,
he was too eager. Like, why are you gonna leave, dude? Just chill out for a second. Don't get caught by yourself anywhere. Go with the crowd. Do what all of the crowd does, and you're good. But why are you trying to leave? And why didn't you get down on the knee earlier?
He could at least waited a day. The first thing this guy did was he begged me like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna just go. And he's just nonchalantly sitting in the middle, like standing with his horse in the middle of the square, right? Waiting for what, man? Like, dude, forget the horse, put a hoodie on, and just get out. That's some goal. Buy a horse on the way. Just buy a horse on the way.
I know we're in this is a story, we're in fantasy time, but it still could be like during his time that he's heard the stories. When there's a new king taking over, you have to bend the knee, no matter what. Don't matter what you believe or not. Either you bend the knee or lose a head. That's what it comes down to.
No, certainly.
Definitely showed his hand. Yeah, for sure.
You know who was the MVP for Team Green? Larys.
Who's that?
Larys Strong. Saw him. Like, this guy is not
about
for
Larys
real.
For a second. Can we take a time out and talk about Larys for a second? Go ahead.
Let's bring it a little later. Don't blow it just yet.
He did, but anyway.
I got something to say about that as well. Larys is the one who blows the whistle, and he's doing all of that just so he can position himself just in good terms with Otto as he's with Alicent. He's playing both sides. Like, somebody's gonna be.
That was very interesting. Yes, that was very, very interesting to see that part.
Very little finger of him. Very little finger of him.
Exactly. He's playing both. I think he's waiting to see who lands with the most power. Like, who does the son listen to more? Is it the grandfather or is it the mother? And so he'll go to that side.
For sure. And then on the next scene, we have Rhaenys meeting with a grieving Alicent. Because Alicent, as I keep saying, Alicent is a real one. She did love her man, her husband, and she's sad, but she still has to do her duties as queen. And she's gonna meet with the queen who never was, Rhaenys. And she's trying to plead with her for the Velaryon family to side with Aegon and stop being on the side of Rhaenyra. She even appeals to her sense of not being able to be queen. Like, listen, you should have been the queen. Viserys would have been cool just being in the country and just doing whatever Viserys does. You should have been the one. You should have everything that we needed for queen. But now allow my son to be king. Join with us. You can keep Driftmark. Give it to your granddaughters, since they're true heirs. Listen, Rhaenyra made fun of your
she called him a cuckold. Yeah, she didn't make fun. She called him a cuckold.
I don't know what that is, so I'm not gonna explain it.
That's bad.
What that is?
That's bad.
You break it down for us? Can you detail it?
It goes, if you want to, it goes back to the old days, like medieval time or whatever. Is like the dude would take another guy's wife, and the other guy would run after her, like put her like a chicken runs after her, or something like that. So it's like really, really bad, and the whole thing it's bad. So she really was trying to get Rhaenys on her side, Alicent, but Rhaenys didn't go for it. And I think the reason why she didn't go for it is because where are her granddaughters at?
Her granddaughters are in Dragonstone with Rhaenyra. I mean, exactly. She's definitely enthralled. I mean, at the end of the day, her granddaughters are the daughters of Daemon Targaryen, who's married to Rhaenyra. She's not gonna go against the family. There's blood there. I mean, I don't think
exactly, and that's blood there, future line, all of that. I'm not gonna let you kill my granddaughter's dad. I'm not going with that. And then I think the part that I loved the most about Rhaenys in that moment was that she said to Alicent, "Dude, look around you, all this power. Have you never thought of it for yourself? Why do you always envision men at the throne and you preparing a seat for another man? Why don't you take it yourself?" And just goes to show that she is not ready to rule, but Rhaenys was ready to rule back in the day. She has the right mindset.
I don't think Alicent doesn't have that ambition. That's the thing. Alicent, I see Alicent as a very pure person. Her emotions, whether they're good or bad, she's pure into what her intent is. Yeah. So for her, she never wanted more than impress her dad. She never wanted more than being a good friend to Rhaenyra. She never wanted more than to be a good wife or a good companion to King Viserys.
Right.
She doesn't want anything more than being a good mother. That's what we see here. And when she's asked that question back, don't you want that desire? She brushed it off, and you don't see that. Oh, I want to be queen, right? You don't see that on her. So.
You're right, Plant-Based Ministries. Yeah. And I'll take it back. I don't know if it's necessarily fear as much as her wanting to please whoever she thinks is above her. Like her dad was above her, and then the king was above her. And then I'm supposed to give this seat to my son. He's going to be above me. When she's been around it her whole life. She's been around there her whole life. She could have taken it. She could have planned it for herself. And I think if Rhaenys was in that position, she would have taken it. I mean, she was sitting on the throne back at her house. So it's a different. It just goes to show you who's ready and who's not. And I call bullshit on one scene. We'll get to that later. But I'm just letting people know I call bullshit on it. Go ahead.
Definitely. We're gonna move to the next scene. But before we do, thank you so much for checking out our live stream. We are discussing House of the Dragon. Episode 9, the Green Council. If you like our discussion, give it a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Thank you so much for being here. The next scene, we see that Otto is finally meeting with the White Worm. The White Worm had their spies running rampant everywhere. She had Aegon the whole time, and she wanted to meet with the Hand of the King to negotiate. Hey, can we please stop the kids' fight pit? Can we stop that? Like, that's her noble request of what she wanted to do. We already got your thoughts on what she was doing, which is very noble. Then they find Aegon drunk under a table. That's where he was being hidden. He's trying to run away from responsibility. Aemon was very disappointed in this because Aemon says, this guy is getting everything. He's
Yep.
getting everything that should be mine.
The favorite
And
son that thought he wasn't a favorite.
there's that scene right there when they
There it
finally
is.
find they look
There's
at
the
each other.
moment where they're like, "Hey, you need to come to grips with what your reality is about to be, and live up to the task at hand, or just give it to me." That's about it. That's all it is.
No, certainly, and he looked terrible. He was drunk. He was.
He looks unfit
He
to be
looks
king
weak.
throughout the
Yes.
the entire episode. He looks completely unfit to be king. He's not, like, the moment doesn't capture him until he gets a response from. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. I'm getting ahead of myself, but he's totally unfit to be king.
And we see how Amon must be feeling like, man, you're so ungrateful. You're getting everything handed to you. Because there
Meanwhile,
was a
this guy
scene.
is great.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you caught this. There was a scene when Helena was learning that her father is dead. That we finally see the kids. We see Aegon's and Helena's kids.
Yeah, I
which
saw
are,
that. Huh,
Jaehaerys and Jaehaera. That's all their names. The
Yeah.
Aegon's kids are named Jaehaerys and Jaehaera. You guys can remember. I'm trying to keep up with that. Let me see here. Who is going to be worse, Joffrey or Aegon? I think Joffrey takes the crown because I think Aegon's gonna be a lazy king. I think Aegon's gonna use his power to have women, to drink, to not have responsibility. Everything's gonna fall into the hand of the king to do everything. And Aegon's just gonna be like a background character in regards to ruling.
Yeah, I definitely got to give it to Joffrey as well. Plant-based Ministries. I think this guy is just going to be a terrible king, and not because he's mean or anything like that. He's just going to be bad at it.
It's gonna be lazy.
Yeah, I mean, look at his habits already. Even his own guard didn't want him to be king. And you know what? We didn't touch on that line because when they were fighting, one of the brothers,
Eric,
yeah.
I think he's called. I think it was they were twins. One's called
Puppet.
Eric.
Yes,
And Eric.
that was my thought. That was my thought. I was like, this guy is the what do you call him? Puppet King or the stand-up king? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Puppet King. Because they just, they had everything ready for him. They pledge allegiance to the king, and he's not here. It's like there's a new king, and he's not there. And it's like, there's a new world order. Everybody gets locked in a dungeon, and he's not there or whatever. And then finally, they have this big ceremony. It's like, you got the king, throw some stuff on him, make him look presentable. Here's your king, and this guy's like, huh? We didn't even get to it, but yes, a Puppet King is exactly right. Exactly.
Eric and Eric. Got it.
Thank
That's what
you.
I thought.
Thank
Yes.
you. Big up to you, Jess Herberg. I mean, let me know if I'm saying it right. So please let me know if I'm saying it right.
By the way, I want
yeah,
to.
they
I lost my.
split.
Yeah.
Huh? Go ahead. They split. Those two brothers. The one was Aegon's guard, and he didn't want him to be king. And the other wasn't, and he was just following orders. So as you can see, they sort of dip off. Like one dips off later, and I have an idea of where he pops up at.
So one thing that I lost my train of thought earlier was there was a scene where Aemon, when Helena was learning about the death of her father, that no, I think that actually happens later when Aegon walks in. There was a look between Helena and Aemon, as if Aemon is in somewhat may seem in love with his sister Helena. And I think he feels that Aegon is getting everything handed to him.
Yeah,
I may be wrong, but I think that was some kind of look,
maybe.
as if Aemon wants to be with his sister. It's kind of a weird sentence to say. Oh, sorry, I think you froze. Let's see what we got.
No, I didn't freeze. I was reading it.
Leo, you were so
reading
still. I think he froze.
My bad. I was reading it. It comes down here for me, so I was reading it. Thank you for the pronunciation. Just here by RC.
RC. You know
I
what?
like
We've been butchering.
Thank you. Yep, I will
Thank
get
you
it
so
right
much.
from now on. Sorry.
That's
Thank you
what's
though.
up.
Just here by.
So yeah, let's see here. What were we? So Aegon is found drunk, and then Alicent then later on confronts Otto. Once Aegon is found, she steps up to her dad. Why are you having your spies find my son? What were you trying to do? and I only ever wanted to please you, to be your daughter. This is what we're gonna do. She lays the law down. This is what's happening from this point on, and we see that she's waking up to not 100% blindly trust her father. At the end of the day, she's the one who put her father in that position.
Just like Plant-Based Ministry said, you want to be one way, but it's the other. Or Marlo, shout out to The Wire. That was a good reference. Yes.
We love The Wire here. We love.
Oh man, watch that. Watch the whole series like 3-4 times. It's all good.
Yeah, one of the greatest series in TV. I mean, if you guys don't know what The Wire is, it's on HBO.
They know what The Wire is.
You need to watch The Wire. It's old, but it's good. You won't regret it. So yeah, she tells him, listen, he's even gonna wear the crown of Aegon the Conqueror. Plant-Based Ministry agrees that the Wire is where it's at. All right, so we got to the third page here. Then we have that scene that you made reference to earlier. I didn't want to.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about it.
Blow the cover too early.
Everybody, get your popcorn. Now it's playing.
So Larry meets with Allison. And this is kind of weird.
Can I just ask you a question? At what point did you catch on? Like everybody that's listening right now, at what point did you catch on that was his thing? I had to look it up. It's called podo. It's called a podophilia, which is a foot fetish. Like, at what point? I caught on pretty early because they were like, you're in the queen's presence, like you look her in her eyes, and he was like, she put her feet up, which I was like, it's kind of very informal to be in the presence of a man, not your husband, as the queen, right? And then like once she pulled down her what are they, stockings, there we go, when she pulled down the stockings, I was like, that's really informal. And then she was wiggling her toes, and the whole time his eyes were right there. I was like, oh, I thought that it was like sort of unspoken, but then when she turned away, it was known by both parties, right? And this was quid pro quo, a conversation with a happy ending for him. So Cindy, what was going on? You got to go back and watch that. Like he was giving information for some foot time, like for real. Like this was the problem. He's like, I tell you, for a price.
So this is my reaction. So as I'm watching this, okay, normal conversation. Once they sitting each other, looking at each other. He's her right hand or the hitting hand, right? He's gonna tell some information. Yeah. Then she puts her feet up. Okay, maybe she's tired. She had a long day. She's been walking around the long halls and stairs of the castle. Mm-hmm. So I figured, you know what? The queen is tired. Why not? She's the queen. Why can't she put her foot up, right? Yeah. And then she takes her socks off. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
What's going on here? Yeah. I'm like, is she trying to seduce him? Is this the deal they have for all those years? Like, okay, I'm going to give you information for free, but I need to see some feet. This is like some kind of medieval OnlyFans. This guy, he's getting paid. Like, instead of money, he's giving information and doing things for her. He just want to see some feet. Can I see some feet? Can I keep a sock?
Yeah. Like, it's just weird, and to put a cap on it and make sure that it's clear that that's what it is. That, then she turns away and he finishes or whatever, which was just like, to do that in the presence of the queen. I'm with you, Plant-Based Ministries. Like, how could she allow this to happen? To do, like, how does that become understood? How did the first time come about? Right.
I think this gotta happen once she realized. Because remember, he winked at her when the Strongs were killed. When the Harwin Strong, his father, were killed. Like, do you have something to do with it? She kind of realized this guy is willing to do stuff, and I can imagine at some point they came into some kind of deal. And that's basically where we're at.
That was when the king was alive. Think about that. Like, right behind his back, hey, those toes are for the king.
No, and then he just goes in. Like, he didn't even have a zipper. He just went in. And like, what's going on, my man? What is going on?
That was something else. That, you know what? In all of Game of Thrones, and now House of the Dragons, that's never been done before. Put that in the check mark. Put that in the checkbox. Been there, done that. That's something new.
Yo, one observation I want to make, I kind of glossed over. This was when Otto was meeting with the White Worm. There was something that was said that was very key. Something that brought me some flashbacks to Game of Thrones, where we've been assuming that, you know, if Larys is the new Littlefinger, who is the new Varys in the show? Because we haven't got that, and it looks like the White Worm is that person, because she said something very similar to what Varys said to what Varys said to Tyrion Lannister in one of the Game of Thrones episodes. So Varys said to Tyrion, where does power reside is on
the people,
where the people decide, you know. But in this instance, the White Worm says there is no power but the one that the people allow you to take. Something very similar. So she might be the new Varys on this show. I didn't think she was gonna be that important of a character, but it looks like by these words she might be, but she might also be in trouble, because a result of the meeting of the feat is that Larys is in charge to take care of the spy network, and that includes the White Worm. How do you think that's gonna go?
These are factions. Okay, so Alicent now has Larys on her side because he was a free agent. You know, he made that proposition to Otto, and apparently now he's on Alicent's side. So Otto needs the White Worm. So again, this is what I was talking about: the daughter Alicent and the father Otto being against each other in the ruling of their bloodline, right? They're going to be pulling at two opposite ends, and we'll see who has the king in their ear, or who's in the king's ear. It's vice versa. I think that's going to be something for season 2 that's going to play out if they survive, which we wouldn't have a series if they didn't. But I think that's going to be something for season 2.
Now, in the next scene, we see one of the twins. I don't know if it's Eric or Eric. You guys figure that out. They look the same. I think one has the beard more trimmed than the other. I think that's the main difference between the two. I couldn't keep them together, but he escorts Rhaenys out of the city, or out of the castle. Rhaenys doesn't want to go because she wants to go back pick up her dragon, and he loses her in the crowd of people. He's like, she wanted to go to Dragon Pit, and that kind of worked out to her favor. Then we finally have Alicent talking to Aegon, and she gives him the dagger. And the dagger that has a prophecy of the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yes. I don't know. That escaped me. Like, I missed that. I was asking myself what happened, and then I was like, I don't have time to go back because we were preparing.
Yes, that so I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta go back and watch that. Like, it's right here. I gotta go back and watch that. I don't know. I was like,
that's a great observation.
Yes, thank you, Plant Based. Because she was at that time, Rhaenyra was escaping, and then they showed I was like, where's that coming from?
It makes a lot of sense because
she thought it was the servants' quarters.
That could have been as well. You know, it makes a lot of sense just because the previous scene was Alicent and Larry's meeting, and she ordering him to take care of the spy network, and he handled that very quick. We already know from previous episodes that his choice of weapon is fire. He burned his father. He burned his brother. So why would not he burn the spy network as well?
Good point.
Wow. You broke that just
there it is.
Yeah, you're on. I think you're on the money. If I was a betting man,
and Sydney, it may have been the servants that were a part of the network.
I'm no longer allowed to bet in Vegas, but I'm kidding. I would definitely bet on that. That was great observation. Plant-based ministry. And yeah, I mean, the servants live there, Cindy, because the servants are part of the spy network. Since one of the handmaidens is also a spy. So you are correct as well.
Good observation.
Great observation, guys. Yeah, that really, I was like, why is this guy walking for a burning?
Yeah, I didn't get that one. I was like, yeah, and then it went over my head. So yeah, good observation.
So then that's when we have Alicent speaking to Aegon about, being king. He's like, I don't want to be king. I just want to relax. It is what it is.
I just want to get on a boat and be free.
But she makes sure that she tells him, listen, well, you're going to be king and all, but one thing that I want you to do for me is make sure you don't hurt your sister. That's not what your father would want. Make sure you make a deal for your sister Rhaenyra. I'll make sure everything is cool in that end. So she's trying to get that message.
Hey, put in the comments whether you think he plans on doing something to Rhaenyra or not. Just let us know.
I mean, who you think Aegon's gonna listen to at the end? Otto or Alicent?
Yeah.
I mean, he did call for his mom when he was found. It's like, I want to see my mother like a little baby. When he was found, that's the first thing he cried out. So we can see that he's very attached to his boy.
He's weak. He's not his brother, that's for sure.
And we have Rhaenys in middle of all this crowd. She gets taken into the dragon pit where she's.
You saw her eyes light up once they saw where they were leading her.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, where am I going? Oh, hello." I'm like, "Did she see somebody?"
She put it all. The dots all connected at that point. I was like, "Oh, okay. She's gonna get on a dragon and dip off."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, she gets in there. She's witnessing Aegon's being the coronation. This is the first time we see like a coronation of a Targaryen king, because we had Daenerys being crowned in Game of Thrones, but it wasn't like there was like 10 different kings at that time, right? Everybody was king when she was being crowned. This time there's a one true king, essentially, at least at this particular moment, and that's Aegon. We see how the people actually took it very well. People were applauding, everybody was excited. Otto was so proud. Look at this man's face. Otto was so proud with his family finally ascending.
And just like Just Hair by RC said, he was a puppet. They pushed him out there. They did the whole ceremony and everything like that, you know. And I was thinking to myself, like, you know, these ceremonies are important because it's a demark. It's definitive before King
Ministries. Yes.
Was that
the dragons during fire? So Helena had a premonition that she said there was a beast under the board. There's something under the. Yes. Oh my God, man, you're on fire. You are on fire. Yes, that is the premonition Helena had about the beast under the board. That's why the camera cut out to her when this happened. Good call out.
Think he may follow Otto since he always believed he should be the heir from infancy. That's a good possibility. I mean, the grandfather, he knows his stuff and he believed in him, and that he made the way. Like, you saw the Green Committee, they already had things lined up. So why not? You know, and your grandfather has been around since forever, so he knows the ins and outs as a king's hand. Why not? Right? Go ahead.
My whole train of thought when I'm watching that coronation is like, what if the crown don't fit? Because that's Aegon's crown, right?
Yeah, I had the same thought.
Like,
what if it goes straight through his head?
That would be hilarious.
That would be so fitting. That would be so fitting. I thought the same thing.
And the funny thing is, he didn't want to be king, and he's like, people, that's saying all these great things. I was like, whatever, man. And then when he sees people applauding, he's like, oh, for me? It's just for me? And yes.
He finally understood what it meant to be king and finally accepted it at that point. And I think this is just the beginning of his growth as a king. And I think he will. I said that he wasn't going to be a tyrant, but he's going to grow into something. He's probably going to grow into a gluttonous king, maybe, is what I'm thinking. But he's definitely going to develop. That's not where he's going to stay at, this naive guy. He's going to test out his power for sure.
I mean, like I said, I really think that at the end of the day, his main goal is gonna be he's gonna try to just to abuse the power and just do whatever he can to enjoy
more kids. Well,
we saw that they made a reference that he has fatherless children, bastards in the kingdom.
Yeah, he has a couple hanging around the kingdom, whatever. And here's the thing that got me lying. This whole episode was unlike any other episode that we've seen in this season thus far, because it went so well. like everything, excuse me, all of everybody's plan or whatever was executed. One, in the same episode. Two, very well with very little resistance. Right? You know, the king is gone. Okay, I need to get word out that he wanted my son to be king. Let me talk to my father. He'll handle it. They go to the committee. You know, the committee says, "Oh yeah, we already had planned on making him king. We're good." The one guy says, "Oh no, I'm not going to do it." He dies, and then the Kingsman he leaves, and then they lock the servants in the thing and whatever. Everything goes really, 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 really well. Like you could go through every single scene. There's very little resistance in any scene. Even Rhaenyra, she gave like a little resistance, but not a lot, and that was about it, right? And then all of a sudden, Lion, you know where I'm going with this. All of a sudden, right when Aegon is really absorbing his power, you see Rhaenyra pop out of nowhere. I forgot that she Rhaenys. Sorry. You see Rhaenys pop out of nowhere. I forgot that she disappeared. And that was, for me, the best part of the episode. Just the way that they made you forget about her. And then she has this explosive entrance into this coronation.
Like, you blew the floor, killed a bunch of the people from the kingdom that had nothing to do with the whole thing. No, and dragons.
Yeah. And what was your thoughts when that happened, Lion?
I was not expecting it, just like you. I was so involved in what's going on at that particular moment. But I knew the episode wasn't over because we know that she was gonna get her dragon. Yeah. I just thought all we were gonna see is her flying away with her dragon. That's all I thought was gonna happen. Now she made a great entrance. She made an amazing entrance on that.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Here's the thing that I'm really, really upset about, Lion, and everybody else. Let me know your thoughts. Why didn't she set everybody on fire? Why? Listen, she's not a naive person. She's not a naive little girl, right? She's reigned in the absence of her husband for quite some time. She's supposed to be queen of the realm. She's fearless. She stood up to the queen or whatever. She has her own dragon, and her bloodline is at stake right now. There is no way that if anyone else were in her situation, they wouldn't set fire to everybody on that stage. That is not a believable path for this plot line right now. I understand that there would be no series after that, or very little happening in that series, but that's the realistic part of it. And I think they said it was because mother didn't want to kill another mother and a kid, but a grandmother would, because she's worried about her grandkids, and that's what really would happen. I think they dropped the ball on that. What are your thoughts, Lion?
No, you hear the nail on the head. I think that conversation she had with Alicent is what did it. If Alicent had not had that conversation with her, I think she would have just melted everybody in that particular moment. That conversation she had with Alicent allow her to kind of react. You know what? I'm gonna give you this one chance. I'm gonna go. But she's going down to Dragonstone to warn Rhaenyra and Daemon, as we saw in the preview, because we have previews. And from my understanding of the show, because that's where this particular episode ends. She ruins the celebration. She spurs Aegon and Otto and Alicent, everybody. She goes on her merry way heading to Dragonstone. But in the preview, we have her arriving at Dragonstone.
Plant Base. Go ahead.
Plant Base. Yeah, let's
Plant Base said that Rhaenys spared her because Alicent spared Rhaenys.
True.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I'll give you that. I still would have set him afire because then I could sleep at night. It's just there's levels to this, and I still would have set him on fire. But I get you though. I get you.
That's what's up. So one thing that I read was that this is supposed to be the last episode we're going to see Alicent in this season. So I guess she's not supposed to be on the next episode. The previous kind of makes us believe that that's not the case. So we'll see if that's actually accurate. because the next episode is called the Black Queen, if I'm not mistaken. So it's gonna deal with the coronation of Rhaenyra from the description of the episode of what we see. We see that there's some kind of Rhaenyra's being warned of what just happened, and we're gonna see what the reaction is gonna be because we had no Rhaenyra this episode. It was all Alicent and her family, and the struggle that Alicent had between crossing that line of maintaining the peace and protecting her family and pushing Aegon to become king, knowing that she's betraying her friend, who in the last episode they were just in good terms.
It's crazy. How does the saying go line? What a difference a day makes. Rhaenyra was just talking about coming back and hanging out. Good thing she did not stay overnight. She'll be done. If she stayed that night, she would be done.
Would have had it done.
Yeah, and who stayed? Rhaenys stayed. Look at how much trouble she had, right? So it would be too easy. It will be over if she stayed. So next episode is going to be fire for sure.
No, certainly. So first of all, let's give out a rating for the episode. Mr. E, big question. And you guys can also rate the episode on the chat from 1 to 10.
Let us know.
5 is about average. What do you rate this episode?
This is a tough one because I'm wondering whether next episode is going to be better. And if I give it a 10, then what I'll give the next episode. But I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I really like this episode. What are your thoughts, Lion?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm giving this a 10. There's no other number. If I could give this, I wish I had more hands so I can give more 10. Is that how it goes? It's a thumbs up.
Put your toes up. Put your toes up. Laris will like it. Put your toes up.
And the test of this episode is the ending. We got so deep involved in that celebration.
You're right.
That when Rhaenys pops from the floor,
like,
whoa! It surprises us. Excitement kicks in, and now you cannot wait for next week. It's bittersweet because next week is the last episode of the season.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to wait at least a year to maybe 2 years because I know they're gonna start filming in March, if I'm not mistaken. Depending how fast they can wrap the season, we get the episodes, and I'm not sure they can get that delivered to us by September, October next year. Maybe they'll do like they do has Game of Thrones, which it was every April that they
it would be nice. But it would be nice. We'll see.
Dash Riprock, my man, what's going on?
What's good, man? 8, but the ending. See, I like that. I'll do a 9, but the ending was a 10. I'm with you on that one. That's hence my 9.5 rating.
He's a 10, but she doesn't watch House of Dragon. Yeah. Anyway, now my other question for you is, because we saved this for the end.
What you got?
What team are you on? Team Green with Alicent, Aegon, and the works, or are we Team Black? What team are you on?
Wesley Snipes. Always bet on Black. Yeah, I'm on Team Black. How about you, Lion?
I normally have to agree with you. I'm being part of Team Black, but this time I'm Team Green.
Oh, come on,
Green is the color. My man, like I had to feel for Alicent. Alicent is going to protect her family. She's got a very tough position. And even though her actions may not be the most agreeable, she's doing everything out of purity. I don't think Daemon and Rhaenyra are full heroes in this show. I think they're also villains because they're going to be doing villainous things.
Can I tell you something, Lion? And this might outrage the public as well. You know how like when you watch sports, people like to root for the underdog and stuff like that, right? You know, like you want to see the underdog come out triumphant. Not me. I root for, and it's not because they're ahead or whatever. I root for the team that worked the hardest before the game and that came prepared and that executes well. Like I'm like, yeah, that's what you worked on. Yeah, do that. Yeah, that was easy because you put in the work. And I'm all for Rhaenyra and Daemon because I think this is what they live for, and I think that that Team Green isn't ready for it. That's my thoughts.
No, certainly. And man, this week goes by so quick because it was like a few weeks ago We started the reviews of the show after we took a quick break, and it's been so exciting. Like the last show we reviewed before this one was The Boys, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
which was a fun show, but this one, he's so involved in it. It's so motivated.
What was that episode? I forget the name. I can't remember.
The one Herogasm. I think that's what
there you go. Herogasm.
That was a weird. The Boys is on Amazon. It's a funny show. It's a superhero show, but pretty crazy. You gotta check it out.
The disclosure sign that they had on that one was crazy. But anyway.
No, certainly, and we want to get back to review shows like Atlanta. Maybe we should probably do like a whole season review once we're done with.
Yeah, I'm down for a season review. This past episode, there was like a lot of messages. I've been following along all season. This past episode, another message, which was amazing. But I definitely love that show. Definitely.
And then if you guys got recommendations of shows that you guys wanted to check out, we're gonna do the full live. Let me know. We're gonna be putting more reviews up. We're planning some other streams as well, maybe like a Halloween themed stream in the middle of the week that's coming soon. We have our 1-year anniversary coming towards the end of the month, so be on the lookout for that. We're planning some really cool things for you guys on that, just as a thank you for sticking with us for this whole year. It's crazy how time flies in this thing.
It is.
We were supposed to be by now reviewing our marquee show, which is Foundation, which starts next year. Cannot wait for that. If you guys haven't watched Foundation, it's on Apple TV. Highly recommend checking it out. One of the best shows I probably watched, at least in my opinion. The acting in that show is top notch, just like it is in House of Dragons. Another show I highly recommend you guys checking out. Any last thoughts, Mr. E, that you have? Any comments?
Last thoughts. No. Comments. This was a really good episode, in this past episode, and I had fun reviewing it with you. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of the show and having a conversation with us.
Yes, certainly. Don't forget, if you made it this far into the episode, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, share this.
Let them know you're here.
Thank you so much for everybody that's been watching our shorts, our videos. We're gonna be putting out more content and exploring some different formats here. So it's coming. And thank you so much again. Mr. E, how about you take us home?
Hey, we'll be here.
One second. I always forget to take this off. There we go. Go ahead.
We'll be here for next week's episode. You should be here too. Until that time, I'm Mr. E. This is Lion, and we are
Unstructured.
That's right.